You're tuned to Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is the wonderful world of Wardini Books, and it's our pleasure, as always, to have in the studio Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North. How you going, Lou?
Yeah, really well.
You had a good week?
Yes, busy, school holidays.
Love it. We've got 4 more great books, and we're starting off with The Old Man. What's that all about?
It's a book for children, but it's kind of a book for everybody as well. Mm-hmm. So The Old Man, Sarah V. and Claude Dubois. So that looks like this. And it's a book basically about homelessness and about our attitudes to homelessness and how we have dehumanised people who are sleeping in a doorway. And yes. I think it's done really well. So the illustrations are quite subtle. It follows a little girl as she gets up and goes to school, and mum's packed a lunch for her, and out they go. But the old man is just waking up as well, but he's waking up freezing cold and hungry in a doorway. And he shuffles about and he gets flicked off by this person, and he sits on the bus to try and keep warm, but then a little girl stares at him and says, "You stink," and all that kind of thing.
As kids would do.
Some kids would do. And so we follow him through the day, and he goes to the soup kitchen, the shelter, and they say, "What's your name, mate?" because they have to register them to help them, and he can't remember. And so he panics and shuffles off again. And then the accumulation of these stories, the little girl and the old man, is that she sees him on her way home from school, and she just stops to look at him, and she says, "Do you want my sandwich?" And he takes it, and she says, "You look funny, you look like a teddy bear," because he's old and he's got his beard and all that kind of thing. The next time he goes to the soup kitchen, they say to him, "What's your name, mate?" And he says, "Teddy." And it made me cry. So she's just seen him as a person, and there are references to, he sees the postie go past and remembers when he had that job. He had a job, he had a life. Who knows what happened to him?
Exactly.
Can we just have a bit of kindness?
That's what makes the world go round.
I think it's an important book.
I heard a good ditty this morning when I was on the breakfast show, and it was that if we paid as much attention and were as nice to people as we are to trees and animals, what a great country we would live in. So true, isn't it?
There's a lack of understanding sometimes.
There is indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. Stories for Boys Who Dare to Be Different. I love the title.
It's cool. And the subtitle is True Tales of Amazing Boys Who Changed the World Without Killing Dragons. So there's been a lot of Rebel Girls, and there's the New Zealand book Go Girls, which is fabulous, and I might bring that next time. But this time I thought there is a book for boys, and it's got, like all books should, something for everybody in here. So there are transgender people, and there are people who have different sexualities, the whole gamut of things, and it deals with it really well and sensitively, in that all these things are fine, and you might have had an anxiety problem, but this person did too, and he came out of it. So it is people you will have heard of. So Alan Turing's in there, Barack Obama is in there, Bill Gates, Daniel Radcliffe, so Harry Potter, he's in there. I haven't bookmarked him, but Dynamo, the magician, who's apparently coming to New Zealand.
He's here already,
Oh, is he now?
Yeah, he's in Auckland.
And there are authors in here. John Green's in here. Roald Dahl's in here, Jamie Oliver, but the ones that I've bookmarked, and I could have bookmarked so many to tell you about, Jesse Eisenberg, who's the actor. He played Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network. But this one, apparently, during his first year of school, Jesse cried every day. He hated it. He was nervous and sensitive and worried a lot about everything. And that was just the kind of person he was. He used to say to people, Jesse said that when he grew up, he'd either be an astronaut or a banana. That, he was... But then he found acting, and that's the thing that he found that he could do, and that sorted him out for school. And he says it's not the worst thing in the world to have those feelings, even though it might feel like it. Why not? Because those feelings can come with positive qualities, like being sensitive and seeing the world differently from everyone else. So if you've got a kid that goes through that, and you read that to them, it just might make them relax a little, that it's not totally unacceptable. Swampy's in it. Do you remember Swampy being from the old country?
No, I don't.
Swampy is about my age, but they tried to put a motorway through Berkshire, and he said, no, there's all these ancient oak trees here, and he climbed one and he sat in it for days and days and days and days. And they did build the motorway. But what it did was, he appeared on TV and radio, and it was a good way to protest. And then the government started looking at different ways that they could do things. So that was him making a difference. And Taika Waititi is in it, and that's absolutely fabulous. And then Tank Man.
Yes.
The guy that stood in front of the tanks in China during the student protests, where lots of people were shot, and he just stood there and he went, nah. and they tried to drive around him, and he moved and went, nah.
What happened to him? Is he still
Nobody
alive?
knows.
Oh,
They took him away and nobody ever saw him again, so you can only surmise what happened. So that is Stories for Boys Who Dare to Be Different, and there is something for everyone in there. It's
And I might
amazing.
suggest not just for boys,
No, it's the same with the Rebel
for
Girls.
men
really.
and women alike.
We're all humans. Let's go back to this
indeed.
kindness,
Some great
humanity
stories.
thing. Yeah.
You're listening to the wonderful world of Wardini Books on Radio Kidnappers. Now, Wardini Books, you've got 2 stores.
Yes, we do. Havelock North and Napier.
Indeed, you've got a Facebook page and you've got a web page.
Yeah, and an Instagram.
Ooh, you've got everything.
We've got everything.
You're so
All
good.
bells and whistles, us.
The Kitchen Science Cookbook, tell us about that.
This is a cool Kiwi chick. So this is Dr. Michelle Dickinson, aka Nano Girl. So this is a girl who, when she was little, wanted to be a superhero, and her dad said, "Oh, sweetheart, they're not real." And of course now she's an engineer and she's got a doctorate and she is Nano Girl.
Yeah.
So she really has realised her dreams. But this is a fabulous book for any inquiring mind. And the very cool thing, she's dedicated it to the future problem solvers of the world. Stay curious. The next Nano Girl is in here. So it's got things you can eat, it's got sound experiments, it's got surfactant experiments, reaction experiments, all these things. And the very, very cool thing about it, she goes through all the health and safety, is that each experiment has the scientific principle at the top. So it's got, in this particular one, it's marshmallow catapults. The scientific principle is energy. It's going to take you 30 minutes to do it. It actually goes through at the beginning. When I used to teach, I loved teaching science because you had to go through a process. You know, you had to have your hypothesis and you had to make a prediction and all that kind of thing. So she's got instructions, and she's also got the science behind the marshmallow catapult. So she'll tell you how it works and what the science is there, and then how you can explore further. So there are billions of
Yeah.
them. Yeah, and I just
love
thought
it.
that was fab.
Yeah, I'd love to make a catapult that fired marshmallows.
I think there's a great appeal to all ages in
And
that
what
one.
great fun you could have with your grandkids making one of those.
See, that would just be absolutely fab. You
Absolutely.
can make a mess of the kitchen.
Can indeed.
At
Just
their
don't let the
mum's
boss
house.
find out. And you've got one more book to have a look at for us, and it's called Sal.
Yes, this is an adult fiction by Mick Kitson, who is Welsh originally but lives in Scotland now. And this is just one of the most affecting and brilliant books I've read in a while. It's very easy to read, but I will tell you about the content and you'll say, oh, it's not a Ken book. So Sal is short for Sal Marina, and Sal Marina was named by her very young mother. Her mother had her when she was 15 or 16, and it actually means sea salt. But the mum just thought it was pretty. So Sal lives with her sister Pepper, who has a different father, and they live with the mother and a different stepfather again, who is awful. So he's abusing Sal, and he has told her that he's going to start in on Pepper soon, and she's just thought, no, you're not, mate, because Pepper's only 10 and Sal's only 13. So she then plans their escape, and she plans it to the nth degree. She learns how to do all the survival stuff. She learns it on YouTube. She buys all this gear with the stepfather's stolen credit cards.
Yeah, good on her.
And she just makes the plan. She's the most amazing character. You read her and you think, I wonder if you're a person with autism. She has planned it, and she mentions that she's not a smiler. She's only had one friend at school, but Pepper is just the little live wire character. She's a firecracker like Pepper, you know, and the things that she comes out with are absolutely hilarious. So you've got all this darkness, you've got the terrible things that Sal has to do in order for them to escape, and then you've got Pepper, who's a little nutcracker. And you get the background of what's happened and what will happen in the future, and they go bush, they escape and they go bush.
Good on. And happy ending?
It's got a really positive ending. It's a really positive book. It doesn't go too far deeply into descriptions of the abuse, which I appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Did they get rid of the old guy in the end?
I can't tell you.
Can't tell us. Let's hope they did. We'll have to read it to find out. Make a good movie.
Yeah.
What did you rate that? 10?
Oh, 10 out of 10, mate.
10.
It's absolutely cracking. Yeah, it's really nicely written.
Before I let you get back to work, just remind our listeners where your 2 stores are.
We are 16 Tomato Road in Havelock North and 44 Hastings Street in Napier.
As always, our pleasure. You look after yourself. We'll talk to you same time, same place next week.
Great. Thanks again.